Hey, it's a Wednesday. You know what that means. It's Rumor and Innuendo. I'm Dominic D'Angelo of Studio1Sports.com, and I'm here with Mr. Robert Karpelis, WD Creative _. Robert, I'm live from Starbucks. Do you know what the Starbucks has significance of? This is the first time when I heard Bruno Sammartino passed away, and I wrote the article about
Looks like you're in a holding cell for ice right now. Very
Nope.
possible.
I'm free as a bird.
Well, if you
How are
say
you doing
so.
today?
Just peachy. Say hi to the folks joining us live in the chat. Boss Brad says, Dom, do you still have your Geno Smith jersey?
No, I never had one.
Way to
What
be a
waste of money
believer.
that.
E says, was up so excited for Fonzie live tonight.
Yes. Fonzie, that's
Wrestling
right.
Alt-
Fonzie is live.
How do
Look
you
at
not
that.
know?
Fonzie live. Talking Florida. Join us.
Nice.
Yeah. Talking Dusty in Florida. Should be really good times.
If you
Fonzie's
will.
had quite a-
Now, if only you had another co-host in Florida, you could have invited for a Florida chat. Wrestling Oldhead says, good after morning, everyone. A classic Robert rant yesterday left me wondering if WWE will ever see that sailboat. It's a schooner.
Is that
That's a
a
Mallrats
Simpsons
reference for you
missing?
kids. That's a Mallrats reference for you kids.
Oh.
Warner Breeze says, hello, R&I. Could use a little excitement today. Have you tried snapping into a Slim Jim?
Ooh.
Mark Marum
Yes.
says, hello, muchachos. I'm happy hump day.
Ooh.
Okay.
Happy all.
And Legs Louie asks, hello, R&I. Will you guys be attending Mania again this year in Vegas?
I will. Robert will not be in attendance this year, but I will be out and about, checking out all the sights and sounds. I applied for credentials for WrestleMania. We'll see what happens.
Well, hopefully they don't listen to the show. I will not be there in person. I'll be there in spirit, as Boca Raton Championship Wrestling will be hosting an event in Las Vegas, Nevada that week. That Wednesday, it's going to be a blast. The main event has been announced. The number one contendership for the BRCW World Title will be determined, as it will be Matt Riddle versus Joe Coffey.
Oh, that's a good one. Man, those are some heavy hitters. You know what? Well, something I wanted to mention about Matt Riddle. I think he's one of the most unique in-ring wrestlers there ever has been. Like his style and the way he approaches it, I really admire and enjoy watching his actual in-ring matches.
Yes, he is a very good in-ring wrestler. That is why he is vying for the number one contendership, the top independent promotion in all of Boca Raton, Florida.
Yes.
It'll also that same day in that same venue will be a Coastal Championship Wrestling show, where you may see some interesting talent on that show, Dom.
That is correct. That is correct, Robert. You might have to wait and see for that to happen. That's some exciting potential news going down.
Just some stuff asked, since Road Dogg has left WWE, will he be returning to the channel?
That's right. Currently, we're airing live on the original Road Dogg podcast YouTube channel as well. Oh, you didn't know. So, you never know. You never know.
Are you
Never say
kayfabing
never
me at this
for
point?
wrestling.
I don't even know what the hell's going on.
I'm kayfabing myself.
Devin Dowling says, YouTube, stop giving me your live notifications. I have to go find it on my own, and it's pissing me off. Devin, what you do, you go on the X gimmick. You follow either myself or Dom or both of us or our friends at SC Scoops. It streams live there. Got it up on the feed on my phone to make sure it's working properly. We are here, and it is why we are so excited. I'm excited because I know that Dom can't play the music because he's in a Starbucks right now.
What do you mean I can't play the music?
No. It's not permitted. You'll get thrown out of the.
There it goes.
We don't go 3 times.
No.
What a dynamite it's going to be tonight, Dom.
Well, you know what? Let's not talk about that for right now. I want to talk about something else. And that's Robert's getting ripped big time on the Working Stiff Patreon.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I am always going to be honest in terms of what is being presented in either company. For the longest time, I got ripped for being a WWE homer and for being an anti-AEW guy, despite giving what were pretty fair and balanced opinions. Now, for the first time in quite some time, WWE is not exactly producing at a level that is befitting of the company going into WrestleMania. The storylines, the positioning of talent, a lot of their decisions just across the board not put into the level that they should be at. Some people don't love that. It's not just, oh man, this is great, this is wonderful, this is amazing. That's never going to be our MO here. It's not. We're not looking to slander. We're not looking to go for sensationalism or knee jerk reactions or headline grabbing nonsense. But if something is good, it's good. If something is not good, we're going to point it out. And right now, WWE is booking for the lower third audience, and by that I mean we're already in the bag. No matter what they put out there, if it's just two chickens in a cockfight, we're probably still going to tune into WrestleMania. They bring back Aki Bono, we're probably still going to watch WrestleMania. Their panic at the moment is the ESPN crowd, the folks that are going to be watching Sports Center, that are going to be watching basketball or hockey or whatever's on at any given point in time on ESPN programming, World Baseball Classic stuff, that they're going to see that little picture in the lower third that's promoting WrestleMania with the pictures of two guys. And they want that audience, that incredibly casual tire kicker, knee jerk, not knee jerk, tire kicker audience. They may be knee jerk. They may be like, am I going to tune in or not? I don't really know. They recognize people's names. Hey, I'm going to make sure I go and watch that for free for the first hour. Or they're going to wind up tuning in on the ESPN Unlimited app and just watching Mania. We're all guilty of it. We do it with boxing. There's a lot of talented boxers out there. I would venture to guess most people tuned in to see Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson weren't really watching a lot of other boxing events over the course of the year. We do it with UFC or MMA. If it's a Conor McGregor fight for years, you're going to hear about it. This Ronda Rousey fight that's coming up, you hear about it. Not necessarily the best, but it's the most headline grabbing. So for a very, very casual fan, if they see CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and they see Cody and Randy Orton, hey, I know those names. Maybe I'll tune in. If you're watching WWE programming week in and week out, you're following the storylines, you're tuning into the PLEs, you're invested in the product, nothing about these stories that have been built to this. That's where I have the biggest objection to it. I don't care if the story that they're telling is not the most compelling. It's the fact that these stories just are such an illogical leap from what it is that they're doing. Did I lay out other scenarios? Absolutely. Do they need to go with those scenarios? No. But when they do these types of decisions, when they go with, we're going to ignore everything that's going on, this is what we're going to put out here for a one-off, like, well, we got to go with The Rock and John Cena in a rematch in a year from now, even though it doesn't make a ton of sense, you lose the connectivity for your week-to-week audience. That's where I have a big concern with what it is that they're doing. I don't think there's anything particularly compelling or interesting about the matches they've announced for WrestleMania at this point. I don't think they've concocted a storyline to prove me wrong. There have been matches that on paper, you're like, these aren't going to be great, but maybe they'll get there. On the other hand, there have been storylines that have been told really well, and then you get to a main event match, and it's a Travis Scott entrance.
Like Louis asked you a good question here, Robert. Robert, as a former writer, during your time there, did you experience changing plans as often as they have been doing recently?
Absolutely. There was a point in time for one of the WrestleManias where we thought we were going to have Brock Lesnar. It was a like random Monday morning. It was, there's a chance Brock might be coming back. Put together storyline ideas for Brock. Burn everything else down. We got to find something for Brock Lesnar. Let's go. Then we found out 2 weeks later, deal's off the table. Brock's not coming back. Unwind all that and go forward. the company as it is now is not as fluid as what it was all those years ago. They're far more corporate. They're serving a lot more bosses. That's why these decisions are so surprising. I know a lot of it is sort of domino falling at the moment. So Brock Lesnar is in an open challenge in large part because they don't know who's going to really be available for WrestleMania. So the idea is if Braun Breaker is healthy, we're going to probably get some version of Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins. Then that frees Brock Lesnar up to go take on either Obafemi or LA Knight. On the other hand, if Braun Breaker is not clear, Seth Rollins could be slid in to go face Brock Lesnar, which makes sense in the I'm trying to mess with Paul Heyman's plans. But then it's like, well, what are you doing with the Vision? Well, we can go to a tag match with them. But then it's, well, what are you doing with LA Knight? There's too much up in the air. The biggest thing for up in the air was Gunther not having a presence on Raw when he has been so front and center for so long. That's one of the guideposts, by the way. That's one of the signs that something is rotten in Denmark. It's
Great
really not
point.
coming from a place
Robert,
of negativity.
yeah, you mentioned that on the Patreon too, and it didn't even dawn on me that Gunther was not at Raw. And like
That
that's
was
such
what
a
I was
glaring
building to before I had to
thing.
drop off yesterday in our show was
Yeah,
you had this main event segment on Raw that didn't make a lot of sense and ended in such a disjointed way. If you're presenting the Usos as we're the begrudging messenger of Roman, not because we're siding with Roman again, but because you've disrespected our family, and that CM Punk's actions pulled these guys in when they would not have cared otherwise. Hey, that's kind of a compelling angle because Jey Uso and CM Punk have been aligned with each other. But well, you said this really incendiary stuff about one of our, our elders. That's not going to fly. Now we're getting pulled into this. We're not Roman's henchmen again, but you're going to be a jerk. We're going to be jerks. Instead, it was this I need an apology. Okay, but Ben Punk wasn't behaving like a human. It was written in such a way that betrayed who the characters are on television. And if this is any kind of television show, wrestling or not, it's a whiplash that makes it very difficult for you to invest in the show. It was a problem AEW had for quite some time, still has it to some degree. The trying to make sense of John Moxley and talk through that character.
yeah, that's it too. Robert, I know you have to leave a little earlier here, but Wrestling Old Head follows up to tack on to Louis' question, Robert. When the writing room cannot get on the same page, assuming the head of creative has final say here, how is that relayed to the team?
There was no head of creative. I mean, there was head of creative. Raw had a lead writer. SmackDown had a lead writer. That all filtered up to Stephanie, but then it was Vince's call. And at the end of the day, good, bad, or indifferent, it was what Vince wanted to do. And if it wasn't what Vince wanted to do, it wasn't going to happen. That was the sense of true frustration because you had to argue to get it up to a level where it passed so many different tests that it made it onto air, either because it was the best decision or Vince had a wild hair up his ass and he went a different way.
Right,
Like
right.
in Caspian 07 says, Cornette really liked the Punk Roman segment. He said it created a personal rivalry. A personal rivalry is fine if it wasn't so steeped in scheduling and creative decisions as opposed to within the world of continuity and kayfabe. If the idea was Roman is going after Punk because he doesn't like Punk, they've had in-ring issues, great. But the idea of part-time schedule guy versus creative went with you because of other people getting injured and they didn't have anybody else. They can do better than that. And we should demand better of that from the audience, or from the creative team as an audience.
Robert, in certain ways too, this reflects back to WrestleMania 29 with Taker and Punk putting in that situation where Punk was wanting to be in the main event aspect of it all. They already had the embedded in the Rock versus Cena, and you get this kind of lazy booking of exploiting Paul Bearer's death for an angle where it didn't necessarily need that.
But at least that was within storyline. Like that made a little
Sure.
bit of sense. When you're going for we're blurring lines there. It's a trap door that you can use because you don't have anything else. And I think that there was a
That's a good
lot of
point.
meat on the bone for in-universe storytelling that you didn't need to go to that level.
Yeah, yeah,
And on that
absolutely.
note, I had to step away. I was double booked at this time, unfortunately. But Dom will hit you with the Dynamite preview. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about all things Dynamite. So Dom, take it away.
Thank you, Robert. Yes, quite the evening we will have here at AEW Dynamite. I will say, Robert, what's great about, people always think that Robert's a WWE homer, and to an extent, like he kind of is because he's just has that home base. That's what he grew up watching, and everything to that. But at the same time, too, he is unabashed in his opinions when it comes down to it. He plays fair, and I think he gives his fair opinions, and he's not afraid to give his opinion either. So I thought that would have been a fascinating thing to cover, and I want to make sure we did cover that here. All right. Well, let's cover some AEW Dynamites. Let's look at the lineup, what we got from San Jose, home of the Sharks. We have a TNT Championship match. It's Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Should be a good one. Mike Bailey's kind of in this role where he's got like a lot of different. I don't know. He needs to kind of be boosted up a little bit. But so it kind of does put him in a tough predicament as fodder or whatever you're gonna do. But how are they gonna angle it? I think that's gonna be the key component of it all. You don't want to use them as glorified fodder, him or Kevin Knight for that matter. And so him going up against Kyle Fletcher should be a fun match for sure. We got Hangman Page and MJF taking part in a press conference. Oh, there's a press conference. Interesting. I didn't get the invite to the press conference. Gee whiz. But all right. See how they angle that. Is that gonna? I guess it'll be backstage somewhere. What media are they gonna get? San Jose to cover some of that. Maybe Denise will be there. She's a California and I don't know. Oh, geez, Devin. Dang it. I owe you a collision watch. I owe you a collision. I completely forgot. Sorry. I completely forgot. Uh, uh, oh, yeah. You really wanted to hear Rob. Oh, you'll get to hear it. So, that's right. Apparently, Ciampa turned heel. How about that? And so, I think that's probably a good move in how they've handled him. Because if I wanted them to put their chips behind him more, so really just push him to the moon. But him not being around there, in that aspect of him having this TNT title run, kind of being a prominent figure, if they are kind of making these quick changes, turning him heel, I guess it'd be all right, you know. And I think like I said too, I think he will enhance FTR. That team of FTR. It kind of lowers him a little bit on what my expectations were for what AEW should be doing with him. But putting him with FTR, I think helps FTR out because they were kind of stale as creative from a creative perspective. I think they were treading water. So yeah, apparently it mirrored, from what I remember, Devin, and I saw online that it mirrored Ciampa's Gargano heel turn. Heel turn on Gargano, so pretty cool. I'll definitely have to check it. I owe you. All right, what else we got on here? We got the TBS Championship. Willow Nightingale taking on Persephone, who just signed recently, I think, with AEW. And, Willow's great. I think this is, all okay to do. We haven't seen Willow defend the TBS Championship in a while. Don't know if it's been a collision thing, but getting her on Dynamite in a singles kind of position makes sense because Willow, I think, is a star. And if you looked at that press release they did for that My AEW app or whatever, she was one of the names they would put on there as their stars. So they have a lot of confidence in her for sure. We have the Dogs. David Finley and Gabe Kidd taking on Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. You gotta think they're gonna win. They have to win, right? You can't have them lose again. See you, brother. Have a good one. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. You too. I'll be hitting the gym today for sure. You know it. I know, right? Once this rain settles down, I'll get back out there. No doubt about it, brother. Me too. Me too. See you, man. Yep. I'm in Starbucks. I just know people. I didn't want to leave that guy high and dry. He like popped in. He was like, "Hey, what's up?" Sorry. Make sure I said. But yeah. So where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So David Finley, Gabe Kidd, they got to win. So you can't put them in another position to lose, and that's not good. You want to elevate them, make David Finley feel like a force, make Gabe Kidd feel like a force. Finally, time to heat them up. You had this opportunity to continue this build of Gabe Kidd and stuff, but like them losing straight up last week to Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin was not a good look. So correct course here. Make sure you get a focus on these guys that you have confidence in, like you do with Willow. We also have John Moxley and Claudio taking on Kesha and Hechicero. All right. I mean, just story building for Mox and Kesha, but you're still in this quote unquote gray area here with Moxley and his personality, and then quote unquote gray area with Kesha and his personality. Not the best kind of thing to be doing, I don't think, but I think they're going to get a melding of the minds here of two baby faces ultimately, Moxley and Kesha. So hopefully we'll see some of that. Dynamite's been good. All right, it hasn't been great, but it's been good, I would say. And I gotta see. Hold on a second. I gotta see when there's a media call with Tony Khan coming up. I think it's tomorrow. It's usually on Thursdays. Let me make sure Tony. Type it in here. Yes, tomorrow, Thursday, March 12th, 4 p.m. I'll be on the conference call with Tony Khan. So, if you guys have questions, drop them in there. I don't know what I'm going to ask. I don't know what I'm going to ask. So, all right. Should be interesting, though, nonetheless. I did want to touch upon another thing, which was John Morrison had an interview with Chris Van Vliet, and he had some interesting comments, and telling comments that what we talked about previously with Deonna Purrazzo. He said, "For me, right now in AEW, I feel underutilized, and I can't blame anyone. It's just how wrestling promotions work. There's only enough TV time for a certain amount of people. Those people at AEW, we've coined the term the island. Wow. And those people are on the island, so to speak. And I don't feel like I'm on the island with Tony or AEW. That's crazy. Like, that's me just first time reading that quote, actually, and realizing what he was saying. That's, you don't want to be like, as a company, you don't want to have that reputation. Boy, maybe that's what I'm going to ask Tony Khan about. I am going to ask him that. Yeah, I am going to ask him about the island. So, unless somebody else beats me to it. But yeah, I think it's a kind of a reality check thing. It really is. You don't want your talent to be disenchanted. And I know there's only so much TV time going on. I know there's a lot of other things happening, and it's been a lot of plates. But you want to put your company, your talent in the right positions to flourish as much as you possibly can. And so, when you do an interview with somebody and you say stuff like that, that means like there's a reason you're saying that stuff. I mean, it's not just to say it or just to be honest. There's also partially, I think, a reason to say that. It's just the frustration coming through. And like John Morrison, Deonna Purrazzo, Taya Valkyrie, you name it, a lot of those talents feel forgotten about. And that's sad because honestly, I think like WWE's, they're looking for like something to charge things up. Bring John Morrison back. I mean, and then position him. I mean, I look at this all the time. I mean, this is kind of a funny analogy, but I looked at Philip Rivers coming back to the Colts in the NFL this year. And sure, Philip Rivers is 5 years gone. John Morrison's been gone for how long in WWE? And like people, that's all people in the NFL were talking about was Philip Rivers playing, and rightfully so, because it was a fascinating story. Him going through and doing uh, doing what he was capable of doing as at his age, his weight, and everything. You know, being gone that year, and it was telling on the league, but it's also telling about how great of a story that is. You bring Morrison back in WWE. This is a chance for a name star, a big star that you had a higher ceiling, I think, than what WWE ever used him as. Take him to that ceiling if you were WWE, bring it back. So should be interesting. Like I feel very frustrated for somebody like a John Morrison, a Taya Valkyrie, Deanna Perrazzo, so many of those names because when you're a creative mind, you really want to express yourself, and if that falls on deaf ears and if you're not on the island, so to speak, that's a frustrating thing to take away. Wow, we have a lot of people tuning in live right now, so I appreciate everybody doing that. If you're watching live, be sure to go to studio1sports.com, hit like, hit subscribe, comment, help us out on the algorithm. And tonight, like I said, I'm gonna have Fonzie in the house. Fonzie live. We're talking Dusty Rhodes in Florida, championship championship wrestling for Florida. Fonzie was there 10 years, and so he's got a lot of great stories to tell. So we're gonna talk a lot about that. So check that out. Also, like I said too, if you guys really want to hear Robert lay into WWE, maybe consider becoming a Patreon member on Working Stiff. Type in Working Stiff Patreon and support Scott and Robert. So it's always a fun show, and you get added content. Like you get an extra show each week, and then you get something to sports entertainment with when Robert decides to review Raw as well. So be sure to check that out and enjoy it. All right, I'll be back tomorrow to discuss AEW Dynamite and anything that goes on as well. Well, Robert will tag back in as well too. So cool. This has been fun. I'm gonna finish my Starbucks. The rain's slowing down just a little bit, and at some point I will go to the gym. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you next time here on Rumor Innuendo. Best of luck in your future endeavors, and hey, go Italy, baby. Shh.